welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a minute. I've had people that reached out to me and asked me what's going on with the YouTube. For those people, I would like for you to click the bell button so that you are notified whenever I post anything. For those that have been following, I truly appreciate it. I'm still getting used to this whole YouTube gig. Bear with me. I've decided to only put out one video a month because I just started back school this fall, and I did not want it to interfere with school, and also I didn't want to just put out random things that people couldn't relate to. Like, I didn't just want to come in front of the video and just talk about nothing. This video, I really want to talk about me being grateful, man. I mentioned I just started back school this fall. So I took a year break from school before starting back, and of course I have to give you the background as to the reason why I stopped, so that you could better understand why I'm grateful, because God has allowed me to have a second chance to pursue with my studies. And the place that I was in before I left, I'm no longer in that season, and I thank God for it. Sometimes you go through certain things and you don't really have that support, and hopefully through this video it'll be able to help others go through the season, because people be going through stuff and we don't talk about it. So I'm here to talk about it. 2017 and 2018 was a year for me. Those that have been following me, earlier this year I posted about me going through depression. I wrote a post on Facebook and my Instagram, and I kind of spoke about it. Before I even did that, it was a back and forth battle with me posting it, because whether we like it or not, we do kind of worry, or we do think about what others think of you. In that on social media, I didn't do it because I wanted to, actually, because like when God is leading you to do something, you have to be obedient. So it was like a whole back and forth. The same way I was back and forth I was back and forth with God about the YouTube video. I was doing the same thing. I posted it, and then I I dipped. Like, I stayed off of social media because I was kind of like afraid as to the reactions that I would get from that. And God know what he was doing. I got some positive feedback, and a lot of people were able to relate. So now I'm going to elaborate more on that post. In 2017, summer 2017, I had a bad breakup with my ex-boyfriend, and it took a toll on me. But when I was back home in St. Martin, I didn't realize that the effect that it had on me. A busy summer for me. I wasn't dealing with this emotion. I just felt like, everything is okay. I came back to the States with my mom, and she spent time with me, so I still wasn't dealing with anything. I had my mom's company. I went to school, came home, and food was there. I was living the good life. And then mom's left. She left the day before Irma to come to St. Martin. Irma happened, and so that was built up on my previous stuff. So I didn't really hear from my mom, and then I eventually heard from her, so that was good. But after my mom left, that's when it's like I needed some way to deal with those things. Remember, for those that saw my videos from before, I started substance abuse. What do you call that? Substance abuse, self-medication. So it became something regular. I would come from school, and the first thing I wanted to do, roll up and do my thing, go to sleep. I had no interest in school. It was hard for me I did do my schoolwork, but it was like half. It just felt like a dark place at that time. And I let some people know about the emotions that I was going through. And even when I was going through it, I didn't realize what it is that was wrong. I would have breakdowns in class or cry in class. Not that anyone would see it, just that I would think about certain things, and I just started crying in class, and I couldn't wait to go home. And people that are from the same place as me, the other St. Martin students, I had no problem with them, but I just didn't have the energy to like be around them. So whenever I know like certain areas that they would chill, So I would deliberately like go the other way so I wouldn't have to interact with them, because you know how much energy it took for me at that time. I didn't have the energy, so I used to basically just try and stay away from them so that I can go home and be by my lonesome. All of that, I didn't realize that I was going through a depression is when I was speaking to one of my friends. We were talking and she's like, when are you graduating? I told her, you know, I'm graduating, I think spring or summer 2018, right? I think. Yeah, 2019. Oof. Yeah, summer or spring 2018. And she was like, are you excited? I was like, no, not really. She was like, why not? I just feel like disappearing. She's like, oh, that's not good. She told me, I think you're depressed. I was like, I think so too. So that was December around this time. I told her that like my 25th birthday is coming up, and I wasn't I didn't feel like I was in the right place. Like I'm not where I wanted to be in life. These are all things that build up to my depression. What helped me with that is I started to go to church. Actually, what happened, like December, the first Sunday in December, I went to church because it was really overwhelming. I was tired, man. So I went to church and I was like, God, I pray for that you will give me the strength, and I pray for my friends because they themselves were going through stuff that even I didn't know, but I knew, even if they didn't tell me, but I knew that they were going through they were going through something. So I went to church and I prayed and I asked God, you know, just like when 2018 hits, I pray that it like all of us will be happy, we'll be good. And God answers prayers. It's not always the way that you think that he will, but he answers prayers. I didn't go to church after that. A storm went through my life. And it felt like it was a storm, man. It was crazy. The reason I decided was like there was a night I got like crazy anxiety attack. Like I just threw a tantrum. It was just me in the house. I was like, I need to go to church. There was someone that I met a while ago with my mom, and we exchanged numbers, and he texted me and he's like, do you want to go to church? I was like, thank God. Like I need Jesus. I need Jesus in my life because man, I was going through it. So I started going to church with him, and he told me about a Bible study that they have at the church for international students. I was going with him regularly study, and then I would go to church at another church for 7 to 9. So I was like heavy. That's how I started dealing with these things. That was the more positive way for me to deal with it. I started listening to a lot of sermons. I became my mom. Like when I was younger, I used to get annoyed at my mom playing like the whole gospel thing and listening to sermons. Like, how do you do this? Like, what? I became my mom. I'm in the kitchen, I'm listening to sermons. Like God was speaking to me. Like even when I'm open, like I read the Bible on a regular morning, night before I go to sleep. I fasted. So whenever I opened the book, I prayed about before I opened the Bible. I would pray and I would ask God for a word. And man, you know, it was like hocus pocus. Whatever I prayed for, like the situation I was going through, the Bible was answering me during that time. Just during that season, that's how it was for me. I'm not saying that's how it is for everyone, but for me during that season, the word was literally speaking to me. So I started going to church. I listened to a lot of sermons. I listened to Les Brown, motivational speaker, and that was like my morning routine. And during that time, I stopped being around the same people that I used to be. I prayed God that he would give me the right friends to help me throughout that season, and he did. And a brother from church, I started going to the gym with him, and another friend, that a new acquainted friend. So these two people were placed in my life during that time, and they helped me. You know, and they didn't even know what I was going through. We just became friends. The other one we were already friends, but we got closer during that time, and he helped me throughout my season because he was also attending the same church that I was. So whenever I had any questions, I'd go to him and he'll help me, like, pertaining to the word. After all of that, I prayed about it, and I asked God, like, I don't feel that I'm ready to transfer to FAMU. I took a year off from school, and a lot of people, they didn't really agree with the me deciding to go back, and but I was very adamant about my decision because I knew the way I was feeling. Yes, I made progress and I was in a way better space that I was in before, but I know that I just needed a mental break because I know what I went through. Me going back home was one of the best decisions I've made, and God, and I know I didn't do it without consulting him. Fast forward to now that I'm back, I know it was a good decision because I'm more focused. For those that may know anyone that is going through something, or you personally is going through something, like, don't give up on them, because even when I was going through my stuff, I remember those that really kept it real with me, and those that gave me advice when I wasn't in my best state. And up to this day, I still remember those that still looked out for me. Even when I pushed them away, like, I didn't want to be around anyone, I was like, why you all up in my business? Like, I'm happy that they showed that they cared, like, even with a smile, like, Christine, how are you? Like, I truly appreciate those. And you remember those that looked out for you, and those that didn't. Even if you know someone that is going through something and they're being pushy, still look out for them. And one thing I forgot to add to, I also sought therapy. I went to a therapist, man, because, like, at that time I didn't know who to talk to, or I didn't really want every and anyone in my business. I just needed, because I myself, I didn't know what I was going through at that time. So I sought therapy, and I'm a great advocate for seeking help, seeking therapy. We have the resources available. I know we Caribbean people, we're not so grand about talking about our feelings. It's a good way for you to figure out certain things, and quite honestly, it's not everything you want to tell everyone at the time, and you be dealing with things and hurts, and you need an outlet. So my advice to anyone that has made it so far in my video, find that positive outlet, find that positive support group. Things will work out. When you're going through the storm, it feels like there's no end, but there is. Like, the sun will come out, like, it'll get better. But during that time when you're not, acknowledge it and talk to someone. Like, don't keep it to yourself. At least talk to at least one person about it, because we're not meant to go through things on our own. With that being said, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and keep a lookout for my video in January, God's willing. And be safe, enjoy the family time, and enjoy life, man. Love you guys.